Hey, Coach, can you kind of describe what kind of a week it's been for you with the uncertainty and all your guys out with COVID and just how it's been?
Uh, that with Thanksgiving involved has been a very interesting week, but I really feel like the guys handled it well. We were able to get into the building on Wednesday, and we did a nice job just going through our practice session yesterday, but virtually. So it's something we're dealing with in 2020. I really feel like the guys handled it. It's a little bit hectic, but I think things went well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kate. Nate Ulrich, you have our next question.
Hey, Coach. So with defensive end looking like a thin position, what has been your message to the guys, and what do you have to do there personnel-wise to make sure you have what you need on game day?
Yeah, it's really, I know you hear it a lot, so it's a politically correct answer, but it's really next man up. And we were dealing with that same issue the week before, with Miles being out. Now, it's just a different issue, but we have flexibility across the defensive line, so we'll be able to move guys inside, outside, whenever we need to. So we feel comfortable going into this game.
And obviously, another big news item this week has been Denzel. So he's coming off such a good game.
Yeah.
Do you feel for him, and what's your outlook, at corner as you need more guys to
Yeah, I definitely, feel for Denzel. Any player that suffers an injury is going to miss time. You feel for him. And Denzel was playing extremely high level for us to this point this season. But again, it's an opportunity for the next guy to step in. We have the ability to move multiple guys around based on what we're doing coverage-wise and based on matchups. So different guys will get opportunities. Denzel, I'm sure, will be cheering for him, but we have to move on.
Thank you, Nate. Jeff Shadell, we'll go to you.
Hey, Joe, was yesterday kind of like it was in May when you're coaching these guys virtually? And to do that 3 days before a game, what was that like?
It was, it really felt like, okay, we've been here, done this before, right? So that part of it was normal, and the guys handled it really well. It is right before a game, but you just have to deal with the circumstances. And we don't want to be, in the business of making excuses. There's a lot of other teams that are dealing with similar issues across the league. So we did the best we could. I feel like the guys prepared and ready to go.
Thank you, Jeff. Scott Petrick has our next question.
Hey, Joe, what kind of a relief is it that the Ronnie Harrison knee injury turns out to be not that bad and that you should have him, I think, on Sunday?
It's definitely a big relief. I feel like Ronnie's improving every week. The more reps he gets, the more comfortable he gets, the better his play. He has a knack just for, turning over the ball or taking away the ball. So just to get him back is definitely a boost to the back end, and it allows us to kind of stay with our original plan.
And I know you haven't been around him a lot this week, but, would you think there'd be a little more juice going down to play the team that traded him just a few months ago?
You know what? I haven't talked to him about that, but I'm sure as a player, you probably feel that way. Just that's what common sense tells me, but we haven't had those conversations. The biggest thing I want him to do is make sure he plays within himself. Just make the plays you're supposed to make, and don't do anything crazy.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Back to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Coach. So late in the week, it seems you found out that Mike Lennon was going to be starting this game. So what's your approach? You don't have film on him from back in 2017. So what are you guys doing, and what do you think of Mike?
Well, we watched that tape, so we had to make sure we went back and just watched him. But when you look at him, he's an experienced quarterback. He's a tall quarterback. He does a nice job going through his progressions. So we know he's very capable of running their offense. For us defensively, there's some little adjustments here or there in terms of things we're going to do. But for the most part, we're really worried about us executing our game plan against them. We feel like it's going to be similar.
And he talks about, that he's just got nothing to lose and he's going to let it rip. Does that change anything that you're doing?
No, this guys do your job. So if he lets it rip and we're doing our job, then I feel like we'll be in position to make the plays we're supposed to make.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Fred Greetham, we'll go to you.
Hey, Joe, can you put Adrian and Olivier in bubble wrap until Sunday to make sure they're there? And second of all, just about, can you talk about their game? You know, I mean, Olivier looked like a different player. He was just dominant last Sunday. How do you get him to do that every week?
You know, that was mentioned to him. You know, I mean, it was great that he got the award for being, player of the week. And that's what I told him. Once you do it once, we expect to see it again. But he's always been capable of doing that. And you've seen him flash at times, you know, whether it's just pressuring a quarterback, just missing a sack. And it was just good. I'm happy for him that he had that type of game. AC, as you mentioned, also played well. I think he had a sack and a half. And we're capable in the D-line. It's just an opportunity for guys to show what they have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Nate Orr.
Hey, Coach, how much are you relying on Kevin Johnson with Denzel Ward out? And just, you know, obviously he's had an interesting year, like everybody has, but lacerated liver and all that. And how's he come back and performed for you guys over the week?
He's come back and done a nice job. He's been playing primarily in the slot, but he takes reps inside and outside. So this part of we have different packages where we can move guys around, but we can definitely slide him outside, keep him inside. So he'll be able to do both for us this Sunday.
And if you guys need somebody else there in the nickel, how's that shaping up? Do you know if it's Tavier or MJ Stewart, or how does it look?
We have a little bit of something for everybody, to be honest with you. And the good thing, and going back to the beginning of training camp, it was just my gut, and I talked to the guys. I feel like this is a year where everybody has to play. I just felt like that going into it, not the typical year where a guy goes and, hey, he plays 60 plays and you leave him alone. So throughout the season, I think it's a blessing in disguise. We've had to play multiple players. So for us at the nickel position, we have things for Tavier, we have things for MJ, and we have things for Kevin. So we feel like we're in good shape.
Thanks, Nate. Scott Petrick, you have our next question.
Hey, Joe, the injury report said that Andrew and Sheldrick and Javante wouldn't have been out there either day of practice. So how do you handle that kind of other safety spot opposite Ronnie?
Yeah, we're looking to get guys back today, so we'll find out when we get out there on the field, probably about the same time you guys find out. But hopefully those guys get on the field and physically they're capable of playing for us this weekend. But we have enough, we'll be able to rotate guys around if we have to.
And what stands out about that Jaguars running game, and how pleased were you with the adjustments that you guys made to be able to stop Miles Sanders after he got off to that fast start?
Going back to the game first, it was good. We got together. I feel like I have a great defensive coaching staff. We saw what the issues were because we were just trying to feel them out early in the game because they had so much. And then once we figured out what they were doing, we kind of made some adjustments and it worked out for us, especially in the second half. In terms of Jacksonville running game, the back is dynamic. He has great vision. He really sees the holes clearly. He shows his quickness. And once he gets through the hole, and he has a lot of power. He has good balance. He has a lot of power. You see him running people over. So he's capable of doing everything. And we're definitely going to have our hands full with this guy.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Coach, just wondering, Kevin Stefanski mentioned that Miles has a chance to be back for the Titans game. So I'm just curious to know, how have you been kind of keeping him in the loop? And have you been in touch with him sort of personally, and how is he doing?
Miles, to my knowledge, is doing fine. Feeling good. He's always involved in our meetings. So just in terms of day-to-day meeting operations, what we're installing, he's hearing all that stuff. So mentally, he'll be ready. It's just getting him back physically on the field and getting him ready to go.
And how much are you excited about the notion of possibly having him back for the Titans game?
Very excited. I'm as excited as you guys are. So it'll be nice, because just with everybody else stepping up, you just hope that with bringing him back, you just put him back into the puzzle. And then now we have, guys playing well at multiple positions across the front.